Welcome to the channel called Unapologetically Me. Got my monarchy, simple shines bright like a tiara. The butterfly means rebirth like a rising phoenix. Renewal in my veins, yeah, I'm the queen of this nature. Crime stories and conspiracies I dissect with precision. Celebrity tea serve out with investigative vision. Barrel tales unfold in my evidence through dimension. No one digs deeper, that's my OG confession. I'm a baddie with brains, yeah, I'm shining so bright. Matriarch in the game, got the crown locked tight. Black tea, sector OG, no one does it like me. Doxing and investigating, I'm the queen of the scene. Step into my world where the truth gets revealed. Butterfly monarchy, read about we just build. From the ashes I rise with the story to tell. Every case that I crack, got 'em under my spell. Evidence moving with the facts that I chase. Conspiracy theories laid out in your face. Gossip and crime serve with elegance too. No competition inside when I'm running the crew. I'm a baddie with brains, yeah, I'm shining all bright. Matriarch in the game, got the long tight. Black tea, sector OG, no one got it like me. Doxing and investigating, I'm the queen of the scene.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey now y'all, what's going on? How y'all for doing today? It is another beautiful day, a hot day in South Carolina. And yeah, it's the day after my birthday. I'm still exhausted. I am exhausted. You had me. Them kids yesterday, no, they wore me out. I went to bed early and slept late as hell. But I'm here, and I want to come on and talk about a couple of stories today. And then when I get off of here, I've already have other stories lined up. But I think I'm going to interject with a story that I saw. And it's crazy because I was just talking to my daughter about this yesterday and how it's such a hard time to be a pregnant woman in America. Like, that's when I feel like women are the most at risk, either when they're pregnant or leaving a relationship, and it's sad. I heard they found Ashanti Allen's body, and she is no longer here. She was 8 months pregnant. And this thing happens too many times. You have some of these men that don't want a baby. They don't want a baby. And I was just looking at a case about that the other day, how this girl literally came home from the hospital. The family only got an hour with the baby. The boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, the baby daddy, lures her out, unalives her, and throws a 2-day-old baby in the Mississippi River. Like, these men don't want churn. Hey, my muffin. Hey, Sagittarius Queen. Hey, Brick Gal Haley, whose birthday is tomorrow. Another Aries Queen. It is still Aries season, even though it's almost over. And then we got Taurus season. Them hard-headed fools. We hard-headed too. But Taurus is like, I got a Taurus daughter, so we butt heads a lot because I'm very much hard-headed, just like her. But yeah. I'm gonna slow walk this. Like, I haven't been live talking about content in a minute. So once again, and this is why I don't like getting off of content to talk about other stupid things. because then it takes me a minute to get back into the right algorithm where my videos are being seen. But so much has been coming out about the Ashlee Janae story. So we're going to dissect everything that I have seen thus far. It's a lot. It's a lot. I was going to talk about 3 different relationships, but I'm only going to hit on 2. And it's going to be sort of around the lane of divesting, okay? Hey, Vibrant. Hey, EJ, how are you? How are y'all? Yeah. Give me a second, y'all. Let me pull up this video. And she's a absolutely beautiful girl. I swear, when I see my melanated babies out there, it reminds me of my 2 older ones, and then my grandbabies, and then Juju B with her little chocolate drop self was over here with a Nana. I have the best Nana shirt on, giving me all kinds of kisses, but more focused on the baby than me. That's Juju for you. She used to come to the door saying, Nana, Nana, Nana. Now it says baby, baby, baby. She automatically knows that the baby is going to be here. All right. Where do I want to start? Where is my videos? Because I just want her pictures rolling past while I talk about her. What is happening? And also, have you all heard that he's been detained? Well, not necessarily pulled in by the police, but they pulled his passport from him, okay? So he can't go nowhere until that investigation is complete. But I mean, I'm hearing so much. I'm hearing how the media and the hotel got caught lying. There's just a lot of stuff we got to get into. Tonight we're talking about something a lot of people don't want to have an honest conversation about, and it's divesting. The idea that if you move differently, date differently, choose differently, you automatically get a better outcome. But what happens when the outcome turns tragic? And I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I keep my windows and doors open, so you're going to hear background noise. All right, so let's slow this all the way down, because this story right here, this is the one that people can't stop thinking about or talking about. Her name was Ashlee Janae, 31 years old, a lifestyle influencer, a woman living what looked like a soft, elevated life. She travels to Zanzibar, Tanzania, not just for a trip, but to celebrate her 31st birthday. And during that same trip, she gets engaged. This is important because everything about this moment should have been happy. Okay? If you look at her social media, you see a woman glowing, celebrating, enjoying her life. One of her final messages basically reflected that she felt like she was exactly where she needed to be. And then everything changes. Okay? Let's start pulling up some videos. I'm going to first start with the news report. And like I said, there's so many amazing videos out here. We're going to try to look at different ones, dissect each one of them, okay? And I should have better organized this, but yesterday, y'all know I had a crazy day yesterday. Now, I loved Chronicles video. Chronicles Speaks. Y'all subscribe to her, check her video out. I want to check out her video from the gate, the very first video that I saw really on this. And then, well, let's start with the news report. But there was one story on here that really had me like, yeah. And then Layla Lynn, Tisa Tells as well. Treacherous Crimes. Okay, that's the one I was looking for. We're going to look at the news report first. Everything is alleged fair use and trigger warning. If you are easily triggered, please click off now.
Death of Ashlee Robinson. Her family is demanding.
I swear it sounds like my volume is so low. I think I probably need headphones.
Answers after the influencer from South Jersey
Right here.
was found dead during a trip to Africa where she had just been engaged. Action News reporter Cheyenne Corinne joining us live in the Satellite Center with more on this heartbreaking story. Cheyenne.
Alicia, well, Ashlee Robinson, she actually was raised locally in South Jersey, and now her death in Zanzibar is making headlines across the world. Well, today we spoke to her family in Delaware, who say they aren't getting answers from her fiance or officials in Tanzania about what happened to her.
Uncertainty, mystery, anger, sadness. It's like a part of me has been taken away.
On April 5th, influencer Ashlee Robinson, who goes by Ashlee Janae on social
Well,
media,
let me
celebrated
explain that because I don't want you to think that I'm targeting her, but this is a specific discussion. And she often talked about that, EJ. Go to her TikTok. You'll see some videos where she does talk about the soft life. Okay? And how she's intentionally dating. But that doesn't make this, what happened to her, her fault at all. No, I'm not saying that. Hey, beautiful Sheila. Oh, okay, EJ. Yeah, when I say that, it's more of what she talked about in life. This baby didn't deserve any of this. The volume is so low, I can't really hear, but
31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
We believe that they were in love. We believe that their relationship was genuine.
Ashlee's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called, saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
He told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury hotel the couple was staying at called saying Ashlee passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashlee had an unidentified mark around her neck. They wrote, quote, according to the husband, he found she hanged herself on the door with several question marks.
Sometime Jill went back to the room with security, and that's how they found her.
Ashlee was also taken to a second hospital who listed her cause of death as cerebral hypoxia by strangulation and suffocation.
She's never done anything that would ever lead me to believe that she would do something to harm herself.
She was not just going to be discarded and forgotten about.
And the family, as you just heard, they are just desperate for information. They tell us that they are requesting surveillance footage from the resort. They also say that they have contacted police, the consulate, and embassy and have not heard back. No Action News, we also tried to contact Ashlee's fiance, and we also did not get a response. The family says their next steps are going to Zanzibar themselves to try to get answers.
Hey, Hazel, my birthday twin. Yeah, I did see where you commented how they're having to raise money to get her body back. Yeah, I did see that. Now, one thing that irritates me is them coming out with this whole suicide thing. With strangulation, I need you to try to picture this, even though it's kind of graphic. You have striations. You'll see strangulation marks on the neck, and usually if there is an actual hanging, you will see an upward trajectory of the lines of strangulation. It wouldn't go perfectly around the neck. It would kind of go in an upward angle behind the ears. Hey, Shrinking Sharon. So, like, a lot of these things could have been easily debunked. I don't think they should have automatically came out here and said that baby did that. I mean, she just hit her 31st birthday. It's not like she absolutely depended on this man. She had her own money. She had her own life. And we're gonna I played some of her videos. I don't and she just got engaged. I don't see where a breakup would, oh my God, cause her to go into this tailspin to unalive herself. And I've seen, and I'm gonna play for you all some clips where it shows that she went against that. Okay, so let's look at some of what TikTok has been talking about in some of these clips. Is the internet, they will come through.
As Ashlee's friend, I'm tired of everything.
Now, I started off with Ashlee's friend because she had a lot to say, and we're going to break it down, okay?
Everybody coming on this fucking app with their opinions, with their thoughts, with their conspiracies of what they think may have happened to my friend. It's clear as day that this man murdered and killed my friend. He tried to stage it as a suicide. Let's put that on the floor. Number one, Ashlee would never harm herself. Ashlee was beautiful.
Hey, Black Mama.
Happy, talented, hardworking. She had no reason to. I was just speaking to her, and I have the messages of while she was on this trip. Number two, Ashlee was not a gold digger. Okay? That's number two. So this theory of, oh, well, maybe she was using him for his money and she got caught cheating. Shut up talking. Ashlee was a hard worker. She had jobs. She was a model. She modeled. She was in all the music videos that you see online on YouTube. She was in Drake's, French Montana, everybody that you could think of. Everybody's video posted on every flyer, beauty supply stores, Amazon websites. Even Amazon people were using her pictures to promote. Okay, she was a hardworking model who changed her lifestyle. She changed her aesthetic, but she was always hardworking. She never needed to use a man. She had industry connections. She could have chose anybody in this world, and she chose him. Number three, I don't give a fuck what she may have posted in the past. Tweets this, old tweets that, this, that, and the third. We don't give a. Y'all should have stood on business when she posted it. If y'all felt the way.
And that is sort of why I came in with the divesting angle, because she's intentionally dating this individual. I think I have a clip in here of her with Kevin Gates. I think they dated for a little while. I think he called her his little chocolate Easter bunny. But yeah, I refer to her as my baby. I have children her age, and I can see my babies in her.
While she was still here, y'all should have did that. While she was still posting pictures with him months ago, y'all should have went and commented and looked for that. Don't wait till she died to comment on her post about what she said as if y'all knew her or knew the kind of men that she dated. Because y'all up here acting like she never dated black men. Y'all don't know her personally to know who she dated. She's dated black men. So maybe she did say some things in the past. Maybe she didn't. Regardless, that does not give anybody the right to mock her death or use it as a scapegoat to say why she did or did not deserve her demise. So I just want to put that on the floor. All of these rumors that's going around, this, that, and the third, I'm sick and tired of hearing it. Lastly, I am in cahoots with someone who's living in Tanzania, and their family is a high-ranking police officer. They did let me know that Joe McCann, has been detained in Tanzania. Right now in Tanzania, they do not believe the story. So we are actively working on sending them all the information that we can, which I have been doing, sending them information so that he can send to the officers over there, so he can send to the government over there and let them see that this was a murder and this was not a suicide. Okay, so yes, he's currently detained right now, and I don't know what's gonna happen from this point going forward. This point going on, I can't even speak. But all I'm gonna say is, please stop speaking on my friend. Please let her sleep in peace. If you don't have anything positive to say, don't. Oh, and if you're gonna make a video, don't ever make a video trying to make it seem like, well, maybe this, well, maybe that. This did it. If you're not putting it on the floor, I don't want. Simple and period. Have a good day.
Hey, True.
You see what's on the screen, guys? And I should have muted this song. Suicide is never the answer. She says it out of her own mouth. She says it out of her own mouth. Her family knows her better than anyone. Her family, her friends all come out saying the same thing. She was against that. So who was the last person with her? Why did they have to be separated? What happened in those minutes prior to her death? What kind of fight were her and the fiance having? Has he been physical with her before?
Okay, y'all. People are learning about another side of Ashlee Janae, and it's not good for her case at all. Because up until now, a lot of people were rallying around the influencer and calling for answers. But now,
And just so you have an understanding why you see some opposing clips, or maybe I wouldn't say not so favorable, but I want you to hear every side of what's being said and what's being discussed so we can dissect it. Let's keep going.
conversation is starting to shift, and it's because some of her past social media posts are resurfacing, and they're sparking strong reactions online. In one post from just a week ago, she appeared to call out Black men in Miami, questioning their abusive behavior and asking if that topic was too touchy to discuss. And that's not the only post being shared, because a tweet from 2024 is also circulating, where she made a broader statement about Black men that's now being heavily debated. And this couldn't be a worse time, because now those resurfaced posts are starting to influence how people are talking about the situation. And some of the people who were once calling for justice are now thinking it might be best if they just mind their business. So now the question is, should someone's past social media posts play a role in how the public reacts to a case like this? Or is this distracting from what really needs to be addressed?
Social media is arguing after a new update has come out about the death of Ashlee Janae, who passed away while on a trip in Africa with her boyfriend, and why some people on social media are saying we should mind our business. Zanzibar police stated that she sent herself to meet the Lord and Savior because the husband and her got into an argument the night prior, and they separated them, putting them in separate rooms, claiming she used a piece of her own clothing to do it. While you have those on social media not believing this, saying that the husband needs to be arrested and held accountable, you have others stating, while you have some on social media saying we need to mind our business because they're claiming she's just like the Black dude that lost his life to his white girlfriend, calling out how she basically insinuated that men of color, but not white dudes, put hands on women in Miami, and pulling up old tweets where they claim that she had an obsession with the opposite color. Also dissing her reposts. So that's why they're saying that they're going to give the same energy that they gave dude right here when Shotty got rid of him. But prayers out to her family and friends. I know they're going through it. I'm just here reporting.
And I hear that argument a lot. Like, yeah, I was going to talk about this case. The guy who was unalived by the OnlyFans model, the white lady, and he intentionally dated white women. But, I mean, that just shouldn't make us care less about the crime or the individual that this happened to, just because of who she chose to date, who her preference was. I'm just trying to point out that divesting can sometimes turn into this. And Ashlee's is not the only case it is. And we're going to talk about one other case where the woman actually survived.
News. What do you guys think about this whole situation? Yeah.
I go deeper down the rabbit hole and I see a couple of other things. And again, I give this other lady credit because I'm seeing things now that I didn't see before. Look at this picture right here. Tell me what you see. All right, now look again. Tell me what's in this picture that doesn't belong in this picture. You see anything out of the ordinary? Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you. Who are those people standing in that corner right there? Take a good look. Who are these people looking like they went through a time warp?
Let me pause it here. And you'll see people in the background, and I don't understand why I have to talk about all, possibilities. People are starting to point out people in the background of the pictures. Y'all have to remember those are wild animals that they're around. Even though they're very peaceful, graceful, except for the lion. We all know the lion could tear you up in one swipe. But looking at the other ones, they're like, okay, she's just out there feeding them. They're still wild animals. And I'm pretty sure those people in the background were there just to protect her in case anything went awry. They look like bush people. Y'all understand what I'm saying by bush people? The people that tend to these animals out there. So I really don't think she was being spied on or watched by anyone. I think the main culprit is right here in front of her, but I digress.
Standing in that picture. See, like I said, none of this shit is adding up. Now let's fast forward. Joe said that Ashlee took her own life. Ashlee's family said they don't believe Joe. Ashlee wouldn't have taken her own life. Joe is worth $45 million. Ashlee's family has a GoFundMe up for $50K to bring Ashlee's body home. Joe just went to Tanzania and asked Ashlee to be his wife, fiance. So whatever happened, well, you get it. Mind you, now Tanzanian officials has taken Joe's passport because they think that he needs to answer more questions. I'm going to just say this. Ashlee wasn't supposed to lose her life like that. She wasn't supposed to lose her life like that. I find it hard to believe that a lifestyle influencer, 31 years of age, goes to Tanzania with her fiance and takes her life. You heard what I just said? Ashlee Janae was found dead in a Tanzania hotel, and her fiance is claiming that she took her own life. Her fiance is claiming that she put a rope around her neck and took her own life. None of this shit is adding up to me. They go to Tanzania.
When the official autopsy report come out, pay attention to what I'm saying. Unless they're doing some sort of cover-up, you got to understand that man has money. That man has money. Okay.
For her 31st birthday. They get engaged. She looks happy right here. What happened? You're telling me that she was this happy that she wanted to take her life. I want you to look at this woman. Tell me, do you think this woman would have randomly just took her life? I don't see that. They're saying that her fiance told Tanzania police that this woman right here put a rope around her neck and took her own life. Crazy part about this, nobody, including her family, believes this man. Why would she randomly do it? And this is an official statement from her family. Ashlee Robinson was on what should have been one of the happiest trips of her life, a birthday celebration in Zanzibar, Africa. Ashlee's birthday was April 5th.
Trina.
She just turned 31, surrounded by beauty, love, wildlife. She became engaged during a safari, an unforgettable moment that marked the start of a future she was so excited to build. Does that sound like somebody that would take their own life? Tanzania authorities have a whole lot of investigating to do, because I do not believe this woman put a rope around her own neck and took her life.
I just hope that the U.S. does their own investigations, look over this body when it does get back to the United States, if it's not already here. Those striations will tell it all. If it was an actual hanging, it would go up and behind the ears, not perfectly around her neck.
Somebody's not telling the truth.
So the influencer Ashlee Janae dies in Zanzibar, dies in Tanzania, just soon after she's been proposed to. And at first, it's reported that she has died by suicide. Soon thereafter, we learn there's evidence of strangulation. I don't know what happened. I'll just say that in my reporting on domestic and sexual violence over the past 7 years, strangulation is a theme that comes up again and again. So many of the women that I spoke with, that I interviewed, had been strangled. Call it choked, call it strangled.
And let me pause it here as well. A lot of times in heated moments, like what they had, the argument, a lot of women you will see pass away from strangulation or stabbing, you know? Let's just think clearly about it because it's very intimate. It's very up close and personal. You have to think, you got to kind of think in the mind of your angriest moments. Not saying that anyone or, you would possibly go to this extent of things, but just think of yourself in your angriest moment. Like, let me hush before I tell myself too much. Let's just keep watching.
What you will, had a man repeatedly take his hand and press it so hard against her neck that one woman told me she thought, can a windpipe snap into? Another was hoarse for days. The feminist philosopher Kate Mann has called strangulation a type of gendered torture because it's so commonly used. And typically, I believe it's used as a form of extreme control, a form of exerting extreme control over somebody, because by strangling somebody, you are saying to them, I control your breath. I control whether you live or die. In a study of assaults, patients reported strangulation at 23% of their assaults.
Amy, what do you mean by that? Ashlee is Ashlee Janae. She's an influencer, a model. That's who we're talking about. When women behave like men, they find out that they are not men. Shaking my head. So just because a woman expresses herself, gets angry, reacts back, it makes it okay. So just because of their behaviors, because these men can walk away. These men could be done with the situation. He could have left her right there in Tanzania and brought his ass back to America. They choose to stay in these situations and do what they do. There's no reason. I don't care how she was acting. But, this is in the heat of the moment. It doesn't give that man a right to take her life just because she had something to say or there was a heated argument or fight between the two. He has no right to do that.
And with domestic violence, it was 38% of assaults involved strangulation and 12% of sexual assaults involved strangulation. So we don't know what happened to Ashlee Janae, but if there's evidence of strangulation, that points to somebody in particular.
Did you notice the truly chilling comments left by concerned fans under Ashlee Janae's recent social media posts? Just today, she was found mysteriously dead in a luxury Tanzania hotel, and her fiance claims she hanged herself. First of all, they were simply on vacation, and Joe Macken proposed to her on her birthday on April 4th. A woman who just happily got engaged would suddenly hang herself, and that makes absolutely zero sense. Secondly, if you look very closely at their recent videos, the way this white man looks at her is deeply disturbing. Many observant fans pointed out his chilling cold stare, making it look like he secretly wants to end her life. This absolutely terrifying situation reminds people of Kate Spade, and it feels like history is repeating itself. Lastly, the most sickening detail is how Joe reacted immediately after his beautiful fiancée was found dead. Joe was casually tweeting threads about artificial intelligence the very next day after his wife Ashlee Janae died. I truly pray she gets the justice she deserves, and I sincerely hope everyone can discuss this tragedy rationally. This tragic situation has absolutely nothing to do with skin color, because what is truly terrifying here is this man.
No, you're never going to get me to believe that she did this to herself on her birthday. 2 days after a proposal, after speaking with her family, less than 24 hours after a fight that was so toxic, the hotel staff had to place them in separate rooms. No, she didn't do that to herself. I understand that there is this stereotype of the night.
And I had to pause it because EJ, you are on it, babes. You are on it today. Because, yeah, I do believe he saw her more of a possession and a trophy. We've heard the terminology trophy wife. And I'm still really bothered by that comment, Amy, because what? Let me just not, because everyone is welcome to, give their opinions on things. Y'all double tap the screen for me. Everyone is welcome to give their opinions. Yeah. What? Who's Let me not laugh at you.
In shining armor, the man that's just going to swoop in on his white horse and he's going to take you away and you're going to live happily ever after as you ride off into the sunset. But most of the time they are predators with a fetish. And they can always seem to get away with it because of how much our culture cares so little about the Black woman.
From a white woman.
She deserves justice.
So hear me out. What if it wasn't her fiance that killed her? Now, I'm not saying that he didn't, but I just want you guys to see a different perspective real quick. It's interesting to me how the hotel separated them and gave them 2 rooms, because most hotels are either going to call the police or kick you both out. It kind of reminds me of the girl that went to Tanzania, I think that's what it's called, Africa, and she stayed in a hotel and they kidnapped her from the hotel and she woke up in the back of the car and was like, what the heck, jumped out the car. The guy's trying to cover up her face, scratching her, beating her, and she's fighting for her life. And she runs back to that hotel and she's like, last thing I remember, I was down in this lobby. And remember the hotel want to show the video of when of her last memory of her being in the hotel. Oh, we don't know where it's at, whatever. Then they called their police, and then come to find out that their police weren't even real police because the U.S. Embassy came in and said that those aren't real police. That was crazy. But then it has me thinking about Kanika Jenkins. Remember her? In Chicago, Illinois, down the road from me. We all swore it was the girl with the glasses, recording her and all that stuff. But then it got really sketchy because the hotel would not release the footage. They did, but it took them a minute to release the footage, remember? And then she's down in the basement. Most times you can't go down in the basement in hotels. And then you find her body up in the freezer. So who's to say that that's why the hotel was so involved, like trying to separate the rooms, trying to get them away from each other. When I heard the separate rooms, like something went off in my brain, because when that girl got to the hotel, her and her friend were down there screaming at them, and they were trying to tell her friend to go with the cops and then like to separate them. It's just weird. It's just weird. Sometimes these hotels are the ones that are doing stuff to people, because in my mind, I'm like, what if she got in that separate room? What if they were trying to traffic her and she fought just like that girl did in Africa, the story I just told you about?
And again, I have these different types of videos so you can see all aspects of things. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that. Like, first of all, she's traveling with someone. Who would take that risk to go after her knowing she has a travel companion? She's also an influencer, very well known. This man has a lot of money. The common sense thing is they had a disagreement and that disagreement turned fatal. That's the common sense out of the whole thing, because none of this other stuff, the people in the background of the pictures, like all of this other stuff can be debunked. And even those people that they're pointing out, hey, Georgia Peach, in the background of those pictures, they look like animal caretakers.
What if she fought and it didn't go well, and so they ended up just killing her, trying to stage it as a suicide? Who knows? I'm not saying that her husband didn't kill her, or her fiance didn't kill her, but it's just like, sometimes you gotta watch these hotels, because these hotels be having like trafficking underneath their tunnels. They have cameras up in the room. Like, you just don't know where you're actually staying at. It doesn't matter if it's luxurious or if it's not. Like, these hotels.
Because let's not forget, with the Epstein dump, the Epstein files being dumped, we've seen hotels that were a part of trafficking. It can happen. Oh, it definitely can. The Omni in Richmond was part of that.
Hotels be trying to kidnap folks. Her family really needs to ask the hotel for the footage from when they got separated, if her husband went back in the room or if someone else went back in the room. But it's like crazy because you cannot put nothing past these hotels anymore because they into this trafficking organ stuff too. It's crazy. You're not even safe where you stay. Like my husband, there's like these things that he can use to make sure that there's no cameras in the room because there's cameras. Like these hotels are absolutely insane now. So, and they're rich and they're wealthy. So it's like, how much more would these hotels be like, it's just crazy. I don't know though. I don't know. Tell me what you think down in the comments. What did I tell you about these hotels? They be on something. Ashlee did, in fact, come in contact with someone before she passed away, about 20 minutes before she passed away. Take a listen.
Ndipo moja kati ya wahudumu wa vyumba ambaye mara kwa mara amekuwa akipita time za jioni kwa ajili ya kufanya huduma kama kuuliza dawa au kama kuna mtu ana changamoto yoyote anahitaji huduma ya hoteli, basi anaweza akasaidiwa. Mhudumu huyo alikwenda pale mapema kwanza majira ya 1:30, akakutana na mhusika kwa maana huyo Ashlee na kutaka kumuuliza kama anahitaji huduma yoyote. Akamwambia kwamba nitahitaji huduma lakini naomba uje baada ya dakika 10. Lakini kwa sasa hivi naomba uniazime chaji yako maana naona simu yangu chaji yake kidogo ina changamoto. Yule mhudumu jina tunahifadhi kwa sasa, kwa sababu tunaendelea na uchunguzi. Alichofanya yeye ni kumpa ile chaja na kuendelea kutoa huduma kwa wateja wa vyumba vingine. Akaingia chumba namba 24, akaingia 26. Baadaye akaja kukumbuka kwamba ana haja ya kurudi tena kwenye chumba namba 25 ambacho Ashlee alikuwa anaishi. Aliporudi tena baada kama dakika 20, akagonga ule mlango, akakuta mlango haufunguki na hakuna mtu anayefungua, lakini taa zote za ndani zikiwa zimezimwa. Kwa kuwa yeye alikuwa ana ufunguo wa dharura pale anapotembea akakuta mlango haufunguki, basi alitumia ufunguo huo kufungua kuangalia ndani kuna nini. Alipofungua akakuta kuna giza, lakini alipofungua na kujaribu kufunga mlango ili aendelee kukagua zaidi ndani, akasikia kama kishindo upande wa kushoto ambapo kuna makabati ya nguo. Na alipoangalia akamwona huyu mgeni wa kike aitwa Ashlee akiwa ananing'inia kwenye kabati kwa ndani kwa kutumia kamba ya nguo ya yale masweta ya kujihifadhia mle ndani ya chumba, ile kamba ya kujifunga kiunoni. Lakini akafunga juu kwenye henga zile pale kwenye hoteli nadhani naona kwenye makabati kunakuwa na chuma ambacho kinakuwa na henga. Kwa hiyo alifunga pale, akafunga, akamkuta pale akiwa anatapatapa. Akatoka mbio sasa huyu mhudumu kwenda kutoa taarifa, na ndio uongozi wa hoteli ukafika pale haraka na kumshusha haraka ili kumpa huduma ya kwanza na kumwaisha hospitali ya jirani ili kupata huduma kwa haraka. Mara kupata huduma pale hospitali.
So Joe and Ashlee are about 8 to 10 minutes apart. That's how far they placed their villas apart. Okay. She asked the charger from the guy. Okay. He went to room 24, room 26. Joe could have ran over there, did something and ran out. He could have. Or maybe that guy just never left her room. Maybe he didn't go to 24 or 26. Maybe he stayed in his room. And that's why he promised, he's saying he promised her that he would come back. Maybe he never left. Is that a possibility?
Who found her? Who reported this?
20 minutes. That's enough time to do something, especially if you're right at her door, not 10 minutes away. Now, I told y'all these hotels be something. They don't want to release his name, okay? But like I said, not everything is as it seems. But also, we only knew about Joe. Now we know about another man. I'm just saying something that added up. I ain't no detective like I've been saying. But now we're getting more information and it's looking pretty sus. It's looking pretty sus. Okay? Now we got a new character in the story, but they don't want to release his name. Okay. All right.
And this was before their trip. Tanzania. People are saying this in the comments.
Go ahead, ask any one of us. As Black women, we are not going to go on vacation, have all of this wonderful things happening to us, get into an argument with our brand new fiance, and then unalive ourselves. That's not going to happen. We are going to unalive you before we unalive ourselves. I'm talking about the unfortunate, the horrific tragedy with the death of Ashlee Janae Robinson. Her fiance well, her boyfriend at the time, took her on a birthday trip of a lifetime to Tanzania in Africa. Grandeur. On this trip, he proposed to her. Okay. And she said yes. I don't know what happened, but they got into an argument where the hotel staff had to separate them, put them in different areas. Later, and who knows what happened in between, they find her unconscious in her room. Red flags all over the situation. Her fiance calls her mother 11 hours later to say she was taken.
That's another thing I don't understand. Why such a lapse in time? Why 11 hours later? Oops, I clicked off. Hold on.
Taken to the hospital, but she's going to be okay. The young lady died the next day. He allegedly is being held in Tanzania and being questioned because the death is suspicious. At first, it was reported that it was a suicide. Like I said, you don't have to be a woman. You don't even have to be slightly interested in true crime. But for a young lady that had all that going for herself, there is no way.
I gotta pause it and ask a question because it's still, Sag Queen said the hotel staff found her, and I am looking at that where I see that. But why? And then the thing is, let me explain. Okay, let me slow down my thoughts. She was still alive when she got to the hospital. She didn't pass until a little later. So whatever took place had to have just happened. What would make hotel staff go to the room to check on her? That's what I'm confused about. And that's why I feel like it's just more to it. I don't think it was necessarily hotel staff finding her. Hotel staff might have been alarmed after someone found her. Like, are you understand what I'm trying to say to y'all? Like, they were put on point. They were the ones that made the contact to the police and whoever, the EMS. But I don't, for some reason, I'm feeling like they didn't find her. She was found after letting them know something was wrong. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. Because for her to still be fighting, still be alive, that had to have just happened.
Possible. She did this to herself. When is enough enough? So he's allegedly worth $45 million. Why did he take her all the way to Africa to do this? Why did he have to do this? Why is it that people with that much money feel like they have the right to say when somebody lives and somebody dies? We are not fooled by any of this. You are going down, down, down. When the truth comes out, and eventually does, your ass is going to be locked up for life. That's LWAP for you. Life without parole. Such a sad, sad situation. I'll be praying for the family, her family, and also that justice is served swiftly.
Did you notice the man hiding behind the tree while Ashlee Janae was on vacation? No one realized that her fiance, Joe McCann, had already controlled her in 3 terrifying ways, and the last one is truly unsettling. First, he deliberately took her over 14,000 kilometers away from home. He chose Tanzania, a destination more than a 20-hour flight from the U.S., essentially isolating her completely. He secretly hired local guards who claimed to protect her, but were actually monitoring her every move. With an 8-hour time difference, any desperate cry for help to family or friends would be severely delayed, leaving her trapped and alone in her most vulnerable moments. Second, he quietly took out a huge life insurance policy on her before the trip. As a hedge fund manager, Joe's flagship fund had lost 78%, pushing him toward financial collapse. Facing a halted $1 billion fundraising plan, he saw the insurance payout as his only lifeline.
Y'all, was that confirmed? Do y'all know if that was confirmed about him taking out a life insurance policy? Because this is my first time hearing that. Oh, you talking about, yeah, the other guy? Hold on. See, that's the thing, EJ. Like, I don't know. We need so much more information. I want to see the video footage because I know they got video footage of like what was going on in at least the hallways of the front desk. 2 hours later, and maybe he wasn't just checking on her. Remember, he was supposed to give her a charger, and when he first came back to give her the charger, she didn't answer. Hey, Leslie, I'm not sure if I said hey to you. Right. Right, that's what I was thinking too. I didn't think that deeply into the fact that that's where they were. I feel like that's probably a place she always wanted to visit, and he thought of this as being the perfect place to propose. I think it was like a crime of passion, like in a moment type of thing, and it got out of hand. But I don't think it was anything. This is just my opinion. I don't feel like he took her intentionally over there to unalive her. No. No, 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 no. And I don't feel like he had watchers. I keep saying I think those were the people out there to tend to those wild animals.
Called engagement and romantic getaway may have been a carefully calculated setup for a fatal accident that would allow him to claim the money. Finally, he took complete control of her social media accounts. Under the guise of managing a joint business, he gradually gained access to her online and private communications. Even after a serious fight led the hotel to separate them into different rooms, Ashlee still couldn't speak out. Those happy posts we saw online, they were likely just tools to fake a suicide and hide the truth. Do you think they are true love, or is it a well-planned deception?
Man, so Cardi B reacts to the news of Miami influencer Ashlee Janae being accused of unaliving herself on birthday vacation. Cardi B said that girl did not offer herself. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't care what the police say down there. The whole world know that shit ain't happen like that. Shorty got engaged also, and she looked happy as hell on
Yeah, let me comment on that. Yeah, I do know he was in financial trouble and he had lost millions or something like that. But I hadn't heard anything about a life insurance policy. Wait a minute. You know what? They backtracked that because I did hear it on the news. I take that back. But with suicide, they're not going to give life insurance. They don't give life insurance when it's a suicide. So I think I did. Hey, Nobles Rooster. I think I did hear about that. I'm going to look it up real fast.
a video. All of her friends and family said this story cap as hell. I'm pretty sure she would have left some type of signs, bro. And I'm tired of us being against each other because Shorty was dating out of race. I'm seeing black men happy as hell in the comments like they happy that happened to her. I don't care who you decide to date. I don't wish that on nobody. This same woman could be my sister, mama, friend, anything. This is somebody loved one that then passed away and y'all sitting making jokes. And that's what made Courtney be a real one because she gonna speak up for the people. Ain't got nothing to do with her, but she knows she got a platform to bring awareness to the situation. We need more celebrities posting about this shit, bro. Speak up. Every woman should be posting this, bro. This could be you. Every man needs to share her story too, bro. Her family need answers. Facts.
Okay, guys. Ashlee Janae, there is a new update, and this one is going to change.
All right, before we get into Tisa, that's where Tisa gets on my nerves sometimes with her commentary. Nobles Rooster. Never mind. I'll talk to you later. I tried to look now, and I'm not seeing anything, but I could have swore I heard it somewhere. Let me see if I got it. They do, because I remember way back. I just remember when in my early 20s. That's just from what I heard. My mother passed away from a suicide, so that's why I said that. Things have probably changed since then. Let's see where I want to go with this before I play Tisa. With her ex.
As Ashley's friend, I'm tired of everybody coming on this fucking.
Tisa knows she's so extra. Where are we go? Oh, let's go here. Treacherous crimes. Before we get to the hotel staff and stuff lying.
Noticed it either. A lot of people watching this situation kept pointing out the same thing. Not saying that proves anything, but sometimes you can look at somebody and just feel like something not right, like there's more going on with them than what's being shown on the surface. And in this case, you could feel the energy through the pictures. Now, before we go any further, I do want to clear something up real quick. In the last video, we said Ashlee was from Philly, and technically, she is, but she's not as well. Let's explain. So Ashlee is actually from Jersey, but she spent time living in Philly and was claiming she's from there. If you go look at her tweets, she says this herself. You'll see she repped both. You can say Philly is like her second home. So that's really where the confusion came from. It wasn't just something we made up. She repped Philly and claimed it as well. And on top of that, her family currently lives in Delaware. So she had ties in multiple places. So yeah, Jersey is where she's originally from. Philly is where she was molded. Seemed like once she moved to Philly, she didn't want to claim Jersey anymore.
Okay, let me say this because I did look it up. And yeah, this must have been, because I swear back some 10, 15 years ago, I've always heard that if it was a suicide that the insurance companies won't pay out, but they're saying they will, but mainly only if the policy has been active for a specific amount of time and that there is a suicide clause. Most individual policies have a suicide exclusion period if the death occurs after this period. Okay, let me say this again. Most individual policies have a suicide exclusion period. If the death occurs after this period, typically 2 years after the policy start date, the insurer generally pays the full death benefit. So, yeah, there's that.
Now let's turn the shift back on Joe, because this is where things start to get a little deeper. People noticed everything about him seems calculated, and that's what a lot of people couldn't ignore. It was something about his presence that seemed phony. Joe was born on July 26, 1974, making him 51 years old. He's originally from Roseville, California, and is the youngest of 2 brothers. He was raised by his mother, who he adored. He has 2 kids, a son and a daughter. His daughter is named Isla, and she's 3 years old. Joe isn't your typical guy, though. He's a businessman. He's older, more experienced, and established.
And I picked this video because it kind of goes deeper on Joe and his first wife and child and stuff like that.
Joe was sitting in rooms with people who literally shaped the world we live in today. People behind technology and systems we use every day without even thinking about it. That should tell you the type of power and pull he has. He built a certain lifestyle for himself, and that plays a big role in this situation. Because when you put him next to Ashlee, the difference stands out. She was younger, flashy, expressive, outspoken, and lived more openly, while he moved a lot more reserved, structured, and very private. And when people is private like that, they're sometimes harder to read. That type of dynamic can work, but it can also create tension. And from what we've known now, the tension is exactly what started rising. Because the fact that they ended up in separate rooms that night means it got very heated. Something went down. Words was exchanged and someone felt disrespected. But arguments in relationships are normal. They happen all the time.
But what separates a healthy situation from a dangerous one is emotional intelligence. Knowing when to stop, having some type of control over your emotions, and knowing when to walk away. But to really understand how something like that could go left with a person like him, we got to take a look at Joe's past. Because this isn't his first serious relationship. Joe was previously married to a woman named Shay Jackson, and from the outside looking in, she comes off completely different from Ashlee. Now, when it comes to his ex-wife, she's more reserved, more mature, and carries herself in an old-fashioned manner, as a typical older woman should. She wasn't really the flashy type. She didn't seem like someone who cared about luxury, designer clothes, or showing off a lifestyle. She comes off more laid back, more simple and rounded. She was the type of person who enjoyed things like reading, walking her dog, taking long walks, being outdoors, going on hikes, just living a quieter life. And she's very private. She had more of that reserved, low-key personality, almost like the quirky type. Someone who didn't need attention to feel comfortable. And when you start looking at her reposts over the years, you can kind of start piecing things together. Stay with us now. A lot of what she shared had to do with emotional control, arguments, and dealing with a partner during conflict. Things like staying calm during disagreements, being mindful of how you respond when things get heated. And when you see stuff like that get posted consistently, it makes you wonder what she was dealing with behind the scenes. Because people don't usually gravitate toward those kinds of messages unless it connects to something they've been through, or they know somebody going through it. Now again, we're not here to say exactly what happened in their marriage, but it's clear things didn't just fall apart for no reason. There was a breakdown somewhere, and whatever the reason was, it was serious enough for them to go their separate ways. They share 2 kids together, so this is the mother of his children. She had been with him long enough to understand how he reacts in certain situations. She knows what to say and what not to say, so things won't get heated. There are signs that emotional struggles may have contributed to their separation, and at some point, she chose not to continue dealing with it. Now that we know it's possible Joe had issues with controlling his anger and controlling his emotions, let's shift the focus back to Ashlee. She admitted she gets upset easily, and she has a slick mouth. In previous tweets, Ashlee acknowledged that she had to work on her attitude and the way she talked to people, especially in relationships. And when you go back and read what she said over the years, a pattern starts to show. At one point, she joked about having a smart mouth and said it might get her in trouble one day. In another post, she admitted that during arguments, she doesn't even be mad. It's just the way her mouth is. Quick, slick, and sometimes out of line. She even said herself that she talks too much sometimes and needs to start.
Y'all know how my mouth is. It's just the fire within the Aries women. But that doesn't give anyone the right to take her life. He could have walked away.
Start watching what she says, and that wasn't just a one-time thing. She repeatedly described herself as stubborn, hard-headed, and someone who speaks without thinking. At one point, she even admitted that her mouth gets her into a lot of situations. Now again, that's personality. A lot of people are like that. But when you mix that with someone who already struggles with controlling their emotions,
Here I go with these issues. Where's Jaquavius? Hold on, y'all. The internet people was just out here yesterday. It looks like I'm having internet issues, which is going to mess me up. Hold on, y'all. Jeez. Let me just go to Tisa Chronicles. Wait, when did Layla Lynn do hers? God, I think my internet quit.
In this video, we're going to talk about the fact that her fiance, Joe McCann, has been detained. He has been detained according to TMZ. He's not in jail though. He's detained, but he's not in jail because we know he's been on social media because he's been able to update his profile picture. So we're going to get into that in an interview with parents where they are directly asked if they think he was involved in her passing. Her father has started a GoFundMe in order to get the funds to have her body repatriated back to the United States. And a lot of people want to know, if her fiance was so successful, he was a multimillionaire, why can't he pay for it? And why has the family not heard from him since this all happened? We're also going to get into her medical status when she was discovered, because there is a document online that's showing exactly what her medical status was. And I might either do a separate video because everybody wants to talk about the fact that she was dating a white guy. Like, was she a divester? Was she randomly dating a white guy? Like, what did she say?
That's about to make me mad. Can y'all hear me?
White guys in the past on her social media. So I did dig into that. It'll either be at the end of this video or it'll be a separate video. To me, it's a whole underlying thing of her being a sugar baby and her. So we're going to get into that and her views on interracial dating and if she was a divester. But first, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe, click the bell, click the thumbs up button, do 2 of the YouTube things to support this channel. Let's start with the news about her fiance being held for questioning and his passport being seized, according to TMZ. They are reporting that the police are advancing their investigation into the passing of Ashlee Janae, the content creator who passed away on a trip to Zanzibar earlier this month. Authorities have seized her fiance Joe McCann's passport and are questioning him, but only as a witness. No arrests have been made. So he is not actually arrested, but he is also not able to leave, which is a form of detainment. They say, as you know, Ashlee died while on vacation with Joe, who proposed to her on the trip. The vacation was planned as Ashlee's 31st birthday celebration, which turned out to be her last birthday, unfortunately. And they say Ashlee's family appears to have been suspicious of Joe the whole time, as they say he waited 11 whole hours to tell them about the incident and even downplayed it as if Ashlee was okay.
It is so blurry, y'all. Hold on.
Now, I do have an interview with them where they expand on that. Now, TMZ is reporting Joe and Ashlee were separated by hotel staff into different rooms on April 8th following a domestic dispute. Do y'all know how bad an argument has to be for the hotel staff to separate a couple? That means it was disturbing the other guests, like it was disturbing the peace of the villa. So it was bad. Joe told authorities that after that argument, he found that Ashlee had H-word herself on the door on April 9th, and she reportedly passed away at the hospital on April 10th. So let's go ahead, since we're talking about the condition in which she was found, let's go ahead and look at the medical document which documented her condition. So this is, the screenshot is from the Luncheon Lawyer, so shout out to her. This is a document where the medical professionals get like just a brief overview of the person that was found. And so they said there's an unidentifiable mark around the neck. No wound seen, not pale, not jaundice.
And let me explain this, because this is just I hate that. The first report, the initial report where they receive the body and they explain what they are seeing. A more comprehensive report will come out later because they have to send off for toxicology and all that other stuff. So this is just like the very first report on the situation.
Now, she wouldn't be pale. First of all, she wouldn't be pale. I don't know about jaundice in Black people, but she definitely wouldn't be pale. But the acronym AMPLE, so A is unknown, M and P are unknown, L 4 hours ago. And I'm going to get into a comment that explains all of these letters. E, according to the husband, which he's not the husband, but according to the husband, he found she aged herself on the door.
Now, and this is why I am so confused, because you see some reports saying hotel staff found her. But this is the official report that says it was the husband, fiance, excuse me. Now they got me saying husband.
Has question marks. Secondary survey, RS bilateral chest expansion, no any lesions. She has a tattoo on the left side of her chest. Her trachea is centrally located. CVS pulse is strong and fast. Her extremities are cold. JVP not raised. And so for those of us who are not medical professionals, someone did break down all of this in the comments. And so they were remarking on the fact that she was called stable. Joe said she was stable, and he relayed that information to the parents. He downplayed everything. And I think what she is saying is that he heard the word stable probably from the medical staff, but stable doesn't mean her life is stable. It just means her condition is not deteriorating. It's not changing from the time she got to the hospital to whatever time they were making their report. She said at the top of the first doctor's note, you can see something called GCS. This is a Glasgow Coma Scale, and it's used to measure a patient's level of consciousness on presentation to track their progression. It's also very important to note that there's no 0 on the GCS scale, and that the lowest score is a 3, and the patient has a 3 out of 15 at the top. Also, the secondary survey, respiratory system, bilateral chest expansion means she was breathing on her own, and it notes that she has a tattoo. The doctor notes her pulse was strong and fast. All this to mean at the time she was carried to the hospital, she was alive according to the medical assessment.
To the family of Ashlee Robinson. She's the 31-year-old influencer who was on vacation with her fiance celebrating her birthday. He actually proposed on the trip, but something crazy happened. She was having a good time. Her family said she was very excited to be there, shared pictures with the family, FaceTimed them when she was proposed to. But they released a statement saying that Ashlee was found unconscious in her villa and was rushed to a local hospital where her death was confirmed hours later. I spoke to Robinson's parents. Here's some of what they had to say.
It doesn't make any sense. She was traveling with her, with her boyfriend, and he was taking what was supposed to be a celebratory trip to celebrate her birthday that was coming. And they were in a gorgeous place in Africa and happy. Everything that we knew was that she was supposed to be happy, and she was engaged. She celebrated her birthday thereafter, and then she's just gone. We're confused about how that could change so drastically.
What can you tell us in terms of how you found out, and have you spoken to her fiance?
I was initially contacted by him to let me know that something had occurred and that she was in the hospital, but it was very limited communication and not with a lot of detail. I asked him, when it happened and where it happened, and he told me that something had occurred 11 hours prior to when he was reaching out to me.
We found out that our daughter had passed from the hotel. The fiance did not reach out to us at all.
Do you believe that Joe McCann had something to do with your daughter's death?
We don't have, it's under investigation, and we don't know what went on.
It's under investigation, and like we said, we just want transparency. Just let us know.
I want to make sure that everybody is fully aware that she was a light. She was a light. She was a beautiful person, and this doesn't align with with who she is.
Understandably, the family really didn't want to talk about Joe McCann, the man who proposed to their daughter. When you go online, you can see he's the CEO of Asymmetric, which is a venture capital company that invests in crypto companies. But the point is, the family wants answers. They don't understand why they haven't been able to reach Joe. They don't understand why he wasn't more forthcoming about what exactly happened to their daughter. And it's why they said they're speaking out. Next steps for them, they said, is trying to get to Zanzibar so they can get to the bottom of what happened.
And so Ashlee's family has started a GoFundMe to help them raise funds to bring her body back to the United States. And it appears, like they said, that they also want to go to Tanzania. They want to go to Zanzibar and be boots on the ground as far as them investigating what happened to her. And when I tell you, Zanzibar, Tanzania, better get it right. The country of Tanzania is known for its safaris. Same with Zanzibar. They're known for their beautiful beaches. The whole country is built on tourism. So if they mess this up, if they let someone who may have harmed her get away with it, it's going to have a big impact on their tourism. Now, speaking of someone who may have harmed her, I don't want to make any accusations or anything like that, but I will share with you my opinion. And my opinion is that her boyfriend, Joe McCann, first of all, was a sugar daddy. And we're actually going to get into it in a separate video. I do think it was a sugar baby, sugar daddy situation. I think it was a sugar daddy. And I noticed, I did a video about how his creepy photos are starting to surface online. And I noticed that he changed his profile picture on Twitter. You see this? Yesterday, his picture was a bandana covering his nose and mouth like a thief. Like he gives scammer vibes, but now he's updated it. And I'm gonna say this don't look much better. When it comes to facial analysis and things like that, I've done videos on that before where you can analyze like someone's face, like their possible personality characteristics based on their face. This don't look much better. And it's the look in his eyes. He has a very sinister look in his eyes. And he also has one eye larger than the other one. You can see how the left eye, if you're looking directly at him, the left eye looks smaller than the right eye. The right eye is bigger. That normally happens when there's a mismatch in a person. Like how they feel inside is not how they present outside. And a lot of times physically, they'll have two different size eyes because of that. So you guys leave a comment. I'm going to talk about the whole sugar baby situation in a different video. I'm going to make that separate because this video is getting too long.
Okay, that was Layla Lynn. And my video, I'm not going to be able to get to the Burn Beauty one. The last video I wanted to share with y'all is the interview with the family. And then we're going to close because I'm going to have to do a part 2. On this, we're going to keep bringing the information as it evolves. And this is TMZ. With the interview with the family members.
Lifestyle influencer Ashlee Janae died during a trip to Zanzibar earlier this month, and now her family is demanding answers. Ashlee's final posts on social media were of her celebrating her birthday with giraffes in Tanzania, Africa, and getting engaged to her boyfriend, Joseph McCann. But there's a local report claiming initial investigations determined Ashlee took her own life during the trip after falling out with her fiance just days after he proposed. Joining me now are Ashlee's parents, Harry and Yolanda, and their spouses. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So local authorities in Zanzibar initially said that Ashlee took her own life, but you guys released a statement saying that her death was suspicious. What do you think happened?
We're not too sure what happened. That's what we're trying to find out. I got 2 emails today from the embassy in Zanzibar that said the investigation is still ongoing. That they have not determined the cause of death yet at all, and the investigation is still ongoing and still pending right now. So there has nothing official has been released. That's what we're trying to find out. We just want answers.
What was the initial call like when you first learned that your daughter passed away?
The call was shocking and it was devastating and scary, honestly, because we don't know what's going on and what happened.
What did they relay to you at that time?
Well, the communication came to us from the Hotel Zuri Zanzibar, where they were staying. It didn't come from the hospital or from the police.
Have you guys since spoken to authorities or the embassy?
No,
We've had little contact with the embassy, but no, not with the police.
So were you told anything about the manner as to how she passed away or what exactly led up to her passing?
officially, no, we have not talked to anyone from the police or anybody in the medical field at all. Nothing. Nothing has been.
What was it that the hotel initially told you guys?
That the person, that Joe McCann, who she was traveling with, had that he had found her and that they had taken her to the hospital.
And then a follow-up call from the hotel.
Gotta pause it again. See right here, again, it is being said Joe found her. But we're seeing conflicting reports from the hotel.
Several hours later.
And I
relaying.
We just think it's very odd that our daughter is traveling with Joe and we don't hear anything from Joe. To me, that's very odd. And initial call that she got from Joe was 11 hours after something had transpired in the room. And that's very odd. 11 hours later,
11 hours.
Something had transpired and Joe just relayed to Yolanda that Ashlee was okay and she was stable and she was okay and don't worry about it.
But that she was at the hospital.
Yes. 11 hours later.
So have you spoken to him since, and what has he been saying?
There has been no communication here.
Wow, shocking. So, you know, as you've seen, the local reports had claimed that she took her own life. Did you guys ever think that Ashlee had any mental health issues?
I would think that's farther from the truth. If you go to her page, you know, everything, she was a beacon of light. You know, she liked being on, like being in the camera. She was an influencer, you know, she loved her family.
She loved her family.
She loved her family.
Most important.
What was her mindset like before going on this insane African birthday trip?
Excited and happy, and she was elated that she was traveling for her birthday to celebrate and be with who she thought was the love of her life.
And you guys said there's really been not much communication between you and her fiance, Joseph. What, if you could say anything to him right now, what would you say?
We just want the truth, and we want to know what happens.
What is your understanding as to where his whereabouts are now, and why do you think he would be avoiding your calls?
We don't know. We're unsure right now. That's why we're just trying to seek the answers.
Do you know if he's spoken to authorities at all?
Hey, Happy.
We're not aware.
We're not aware.
We're not aware of that at all.
I mean, because what I knew is we haven't spoken to them, so I'm not sure who they are talking to. It's one answer. You know, it's
Our attempts to get information.
I'm so sorry you guys are going through this right now. That must be extremely confusing, especially if you are saying that she was so excited for this birthday trip, didn't really have any history of mental health issues. That's got to be extremely confusing and frustrating for you guys. I'm very sorry you're going through that. No parent should ever have to bury their own child.
Are y'all still able to hear me? Because I keep seeing my screen going up. And she's right. No parent should ever have to bury their child. I couldn't imagine, even with having to bury two grandbabies, that almost destroyed me. But burying a child too, I couldn't imagine. I just could not imagine. But I'm gonna keep you updated with the story as it evolves. I'm gonna do some digging to see if I can't pull official reports myself to read exactly what has been put down, like the hospital, and then I need to know more about the discovery of her and how she was. I need to hear more about that. A relationship that escalated, turned violent, and ended in death. And again, we see it. Public image versus private reality. Escalation behind closed doors. A situation that turns deadly. When we take, a step back and look at the case, it's just not about the individual situations. I feel like it's about perception versus reality, the illusion of safety, and the truth that no decision guarantees a better outcome. So let me ask you this. Do you think people are being sold an idea about relationships that fully don't match reality? Like the whole divesting thing? And I just brought that up because that has been something talked about. But really, this is violence on a woman. It's just not solely about color, status. It's violence on a young woman. Something that should have never happened. It was an argument that escalated and turned into tragedy. And at the end of the day, I feel like he is responsible. But I digress, and everything is alleged, Allegedly, he's responsible. But those are my feelings. It's just someone on the outside looking in, as someone that's a mother of 4 beautiful daughters. Like, this type of thing worries me a lot. And I hope to God that one day I don't get that phone call. Thanks for hanging out with me. There will be a part 2 to this. And I'm also looking at some other cases. I told y'all about the Ashanti Allen situation. And I was just talking to my daughter yesterday about one of the deadliest times in a woman's life is when she's pregnant, especially if the partner don't want the baby. But thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.
No need to see viral stories and crime stories so bleak, leaving you hooked for weeks, exposing liars and racists too. Crimes and scandals all exposed to you. My creativity paints the view, pull you in like the morning dew. My voice will ring through your soul tonight, forever echo in your mind's sight. Like and share if you feel the light. Subscribe and hit the bell so right. The minor key rings, it rules the game. Become a member, don't be late. Every story, I claim the frame. Truth and fire is my name. Exposing liars and racists too. Crimes and scandals I'll expose to you. My creativity paints the view, pull you in like the morning dew. My voice will ring through your soul tonight, forever echo in your mind's sight. Like and share if you feel the light. Subscribe and hit the bell so right.